Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today, we are talking about Meloku, the Clouded Mirror from Champions of Kamigawa. And Meloku is a legendary Moonfolk Wizard with a power and toughness of 2-4. It has a mana value of 5, 4 generic mana, and a blue mana. It has flying, and then it has an activated ability. For 1 mana, return a land you control to its owner's hand. You can create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with flying. Really cool card. I personally am a huge fan of Moonfolk and like the Moonfolk tribe. Sorry, a little bit of drink. And they're one of my favorites. I love the concept of bouncing your lands to your hand to play them again. I have a whole 60-card deck about Moonfolk and like a landfall commander deck. We're going to get right on into it. Really cool card, really cool concepts. No card rulings for Meloku, very straightforward. And the card I chose to synergize is Walking Atlas. As many effects that can put lands into the battlefield and ramp you that are in mono blue, do it, because you want to ramp out as much as you can so then you can bounce them to your hand and do it all over again with Meloku's abilities. And of course, on that subject, I already mentioned this before, but the deck that I am building for Meloku is a Moonfolk creature type deck with the sub theme of landfalls. So the main point of the deck is to get tons of lands into play and then use them to use my Moonfolk abilities, but then I will also benefit from them by using landfall abilities, which is very common and a very powerful archetype to build around. Really, really cool stuff. A popular deck idea on EDH Rec really just focuses on the bouncing of your lands to your hand and utilizing the benefits of that. So obviously, most, if not all of the Moonfolk have cool abilities that want you to bounce lands to your hand, at least of the Champions of Kamigawa, like the original Kamigawa block. Moonfolk are really good at that. There are obviously some older spells, enchantments and instants, sorceries, so on and so forth, that want you to do things that bounce lands to your hand so you can benefit off them. Either way, whether you play the landfall strategy or you really focus in on this bounce land strategy, really you want to focus on ramping with as many effects that put lands into play, like Terrain Generator or Walking Atlas. You want as many of those as you can. And then lastly, as a fun, janky build-around deck idea, because you are being able to make 1/1 illusion tokens with Meloku, for a very cheap cost, for a very moderate cost, there are plenty of polymorph effects that are found in blue. So I thought it would be interesting to build a polymorph deck for your mono blue deck by playing some lands, playing Meloku, making some tokens, some illusion tokens, and then because you're kind of playing this mid-range gameplay where you continuously bounce your lands to your hand, you are going to be a little slower at some times than the rest of the table. So let's take advantage of it by filling our library with giant monsters and spells that can turn those tokens into those giant monsters. So essentially what you want to run is a bunch of cheap spells that help you ramp, that help draw you, that help get Meloku into play and help make tokens, whether it's the tokens that Meloku makes or cheap spells that just put tokens into play. And then when you get to those like medium to higher spell values, like Polymorph, you can then start turning those into creatures, and all the creatures you have in your deck, aside from your commander, are all huge giant monsters with crazy ETB abilities like Astral Dragon, or crazy board controlling static abilities like Stormtide Leviathan. You could do this with like Eldrazi. I mean, you could go a bunch of ways with this, but I think this would be really cool. So this is like a oops, all giant spells like polymorph style, you're turning your tiny little tokens into giant monsters deck. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I think this would be very fun to build. And that is going to do it for Meloku, the Clouded Mirror. I like that it's kind of this inverted landfall mechanic. Again, this is not really common nowadays in today's Magic the Gathering playstyle. Landfall is definitely very strong, but this strategy where you want to bounce your lands has not ever really been expounded on, and I would love to see that make a comeback in some point in the future. We didn't see it come too much in Neon Dynasty of Kamigawa. The Moonfolk kind of focused more on like artifacts and stuff, which is fine, but I would have loved to have seen more of this traditional land bouncing shenanigans that Moonfolk can do. Ah, it's so cool. I love it so much. However, very, very popular commander on EDHREC, so it does have the rank of S. Very cool. I can't wait to play with it. I love Moonfolk. They're like low-key one of my favorite tribes to play with. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below if there's anything I missed or I didn't talk about. And thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!